This episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Hey guys, it's Kev.
What's up? This is Naz.
I am Tibby.
This is Del.
And y'all know who this is.
And we are
The Wayang Crew.
Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome back to yet another episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's me, Kevin, as usual, on your weekly podcast where we talk about all things movies, especially movies that are playing here in Brunei, Darussalam. Up next, it's my first co-host, it's Del.
Hello.
What is up?
I just had a great weekend. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty happy.
No way, what happened?
I got a lot of cheers and I gave a lot of laughter to the world.
No way, are you a stand-up comedian?
How did you know?
It says so on your shirt.
Okay. Alright. Kevin's playing reality police now.
Uh-huh. Someone has to be the voice of reason. This week, it's me.
What are you, the reality police?
So you had a good weekend. We had a couple of shows over the weekend, Friday night and Saturday night.
Uh-huh.
We're, of course, talking about Brouhaha, where we all come from.
And I think where we all became closer. Yeah.
Closer. So Del had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Kai. Did you have a good weekend?
As a performer, yes. As a producer, I was alright.
What happened to the modesty machine?
That's why I said I was alright. I didn't say it was great. Yeah.
Like, it seems like you are fishing for compliments from us.
No. I nothing will change my mind. I'm set. I was not really happy with how I performed.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Room for improvement for the next time.
I think I peaked, but yeah.
So, modesty, huh?
I'm going to break a tie. I think you both did great this weekend.
I know I did.
All right, this weekend we're going to be giving you a review of The Meg, which is a movie that we were all kind of, anticipating to some extent. Me in particular. Maybe not Del, and Kai was sort of like half foot in, half foot out kind of thing.
Really?
I was so indifferent though, actually.
So there you go, half foot in, half foot out. It's
Okay.
It could work, it might not work. We'll be giving you a review of that later on in the show. But let's hit the first bit of the show, which is the news. And here's some news. Robert Redford officially retires from acting.
Aww.
Yeah, did you guys know he's 81?
Yeah.
Okay, he's shooting a movie now, but he essentially said that after this movie's done, he's done acting. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He just wants to enjoy his, golden years, and that's it. And judging by his filmography and, the fact that he's still acting after all these years, I think he deserves it.
Yeah, and I think very, very few actors can ever top what he's done. He's made movies that are so significant to their time, to movies that have literally changed the industry.
Yep.
And he's also had a very tragic life, so I feel like if there's somebody who deserves a break, it's him.
It's him.
This new movie looks really good too. I saw the trailer and I can't wait to watch it.
What would be your favorite Robert Redford movie, Del?
Winter Soldier.
Nice. Safe. Mine would be All the President's Men.
I'm trying to think of that movie that he was in with Brad Pitt. Spy Game.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Robert Redford film.
There must be one more. I can't remember.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's going to retire soon, so we wish him all the best and, hope he enjoys his golden years. Did you guys check out the trailer for Slaughterhouse Rulez?
Oh, yes.
Which is a Simon Pegg and Nick Frost movie. Michael Sheen is in there as well.
No way. Is this from Edgar Wright?
No. No, it's not from Edgar Wright.
It's such a shame.
Well, if you haven't watched the trailer, it's essentially this school. It's like a prep school, which is in the middle of like a forested area, I suppose. And,
countryside of England.
Yeah. And Simon Pegg is like a teacher, and Michael Sheen, or is it Michael Sheen? Yeah, Michael Sheen. He's like the headmaster. And things happen in this forested area because there's like a hole
which leads directly to hell.
Apparently. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
So this is like a monster movie, and we see that in the trailer. It's
a comedy too.
It feels like an Edgar Wright movie.
Yeah, it feels like it.
That's
does,
why
it
sounds like an Edgar Wright combination.
But
I have not seen the trailer.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Edgar Wright did come out and announce that they will be doing another movie with Frost and Pegg.
Will it be part of the Cornetto saga?
No.
Oh, that's such a shame. But I would watch anything from the three of them.
Because they started off with
Spaced. They worked on Spaced.
On TV.
And then they did Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. That was their first film.
And then they did Hot Fuzz. And then they also did The World's End.
End of The World's End?
The World's End.
Yeah.
They also did Paul on the side. But that was Edgar Wright too, right?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
That was the one with Seth Rogen as the voice of Paul. All right. It is, of course, the 10th anniversary of Marvel Studios this year. 10 years, we've got Avengers Infinity War. All 20 MCU films are returning to theaters for the 10th anniversary festival.
Where?
In the US.
Aww.
Not here.
Yeah, it's all IMAX, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Some of
IMAX.
them will get their first releases in IMAX.
I could be wrong. I think Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 1, and Captain America 1.
Yeah.
20 movies.
No, those three have never had an IMAX release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you are one of the lucky people who are stateside and you will be joining this festival and catching all 20 MCU films on IMAX, do let us know how it is, because we don't have access to an IMAX theater
We
here.
really don't.
Which is a shame.
However...
Okay, so here's a question. If it played in Singapore, would you guys go?
No,
Whoa.
Really? Why not?
because I'm not there. I will have to buy a ticket to go there.
But Del, for the chance of watching 20 Marvel movies in IMAX.
You see, when you say Iron Man 1, 2, and Incredible Hulk never played on IMAX, means they do not have an IMAX format for that. What you see is essentially what you see in other cinemas. It's the same thing.
Then there's 17 other movies.
Yes, correct. I have seen... What did I see? Guardians, I think? Guardians on IMAX.
You've seen Infinity War on IMAX.
Infinity War. I've seen Civil War on IMAX as well. I've seen the big ones on IMAX.
Okay.
So I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
If I didn't have to watch it in one day, I definitely would.
Yeah, I would fly there maybe
For a week.
Camp out for like maybe 4 or 5 days.
That's the thing,
Watch
though.
3 or 4 movies a day.
To stay in Singapore for a week will cost a bob.
Unless you stay where I stayed, DM me for information because I'm not about to endorse anybody for free.
All right, sticking with Marvel, Black Panther, which is apparently still showing in some theaters in the US, has just crossed the $700 million mark at the box office. And this is for domestic, for the US. I mean, this movie is like 6 months old and the Blu-ray is out, it's out on digital.
Yeah.
But it's still making money. I mean, not a lot, not as much as it was earlier on in its run.
Sure.
But it's still bringing in the box office dollars. This is impressive.
This is called, in the world of entertainment and movie making, it's called milking it.
I don't know. I think it's just because it's such a cultural phenomenon.
Hence, milking it.
Okay.
Well,
Yes, it is,
what Kai's trying to say is that it's been credited with like the first,
All African American, all African heritage cast.
Yep.
It's
Sure.
big.
Yeah.
even down to like the dressing and the costumes. They were very, faithful.
yeah.
Authentic.
My question is Infinity War still playing?
It still is.
Right? So is Ant-Man and the Wasp still playing?
They should.
Yeah.
Is Deadpool 2 still playing?
Yep.
Okay, there's not it's not that big of a news since all these tentpole movies, they do take their time in the whole run through the whole 6 months that they're given. But then it's impressive that Black Panther has crossed 700 million.
Domestically in the US.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's just another achievement to the list, right?
Yeah.
It was another mark to break.
Yeah.
For them.
Okay, sticking with Marvel, we have talked at length over the last couple of weeks on the show about the sad firing of James Gunn as director for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, we did talk about the cast sort of banding together and writing an open letter to Disney. It was more for the fans to sort of say that, we stand by him, although, we can't really do much. So here's our position on it. This week, there was some interesting news. Apparently, it has been reported that Disney is totally dropping James Gunn's script for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is just a report. It hasn't been confirmed because Disney has been very quiet about this ever since the news broke and ever since James Gunn was fired. And earlier on this week, we also got an interview with Dave Bautista, who very carefully said in that interview that if James Gunn is not in any way attached to the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, he would very kindly ask Disney to release him from his contract or recast him or cut him out of the movie. He was very careful, not to say, I quit. It was just, I signed up with James Gunn and now that he's not here, I don't think it's right that I stay on. So, what do you guys think? Do you think this report of Marvel apparently lobbying Disney for a James Gunn compromise, to keep him on as maybe like a writer, maybe uncredited, maybe as a producer?
I don't know if he could get a producer credit. I don't see why he cannot get a fully written screenplay and writing credit.
Yeah, because the report is that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 script may have been scrapped entirely. It's a report. It hasn't been verified by Disney. If it is true, it is sad.
Yeah, and I have so much respect for the cast for sticking by the person that brought them together. At the end of the day, I also do realize Disney will not make a decision that's any more unpopular than what they've already done. Like, I genuinely believe they can come to a middle ground. I think also a lot of times, a lot of reports get diluted and kind of repurposed and rephrased. So I have no doubt that while Disney is trying to figure this out, I don't think it would be, oh yeah, let's pretend James Gunn never did anything. I don't think they would do that.
Do you think it is possible that because of the fan reaction, because of how the cast has now sort of stood by him, this would sort of maybe steer Disney and to sort of say, let's do some damage control here and let's maybe think about how he can contribute, maybe indirectly.
Yeah, because I think the reaction has been unprecedented, especially the cast coming together. That was a very touching letter they put out. So yeah, I can't imagine Disney making something so drastic.
I think Disney is only firing James Gunn from Guardians 3. And with all the backlash now, yes, like you said, maybe they're looking at how they can control the situation and have James Gunn come back in the future for other Marvel films. I think that is in the works. I think they are discussing that right now. I do not believe, like Kai, that Disney will keep doing what is unpopular, because the whole industry is making noise about this because it is unprecedented, and they somehow was so reactionary to just one thing, and this became a whole big issue. So I think they have to control the situation.
I think we live in a world where the court of public opinion is very powerful, and it's there's no guidelines on how to act in this new age. There's no rules. I think a lot of people are still figuring out. And at the end of the day, Disney is run by human beings who also don't know how things work because there's no rule. So, they may have been very reactionary, and maybe they'll think, okay, no, we reacted.
Maybe too trigger happy.
So it's, I mean, when Johnny Depp was hired for Fantastic Beasts, there was a huge backlash, and J.K. Rowling defended him. Somebody didn't. It's very tough to be on anyone's side. Yeah,
I was reading a bit of an article about this as well, and apparently Marvel is still sort of volleying for James Gunn, but Disney's, of course, as we've talked about, Disney has let him go. This has presented other studios an opportunity to maybe scoop him up and get him to work on their own universes. I think maybe Sony might want to throw their name in the hat if that ever happens.
And get him to do the Kraven the Hunter film.
Yeah, maybe. All right, we mentioned Sony, and of course, if we're talking about Sony, it's the studio that owns the rights to Spider-Man and Venom, and we saw the Venom trailer last week. We talked about it. Topher Grace, who played the first Venom in the third Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man
in my
3.
opinion, the best.
In your opinion, the best. Topher Grace has given Tom Hardy's Venom his seal of approval.
Not that he needs it.
This is so out of left field. I have no idea what this is about.
I think he's saying it now before fans pester him for one.
Maybe.
Because you know how it is. Like, when Ezra Miller got cast as The Flash,
right?
People started harassing Grant Gustin for a comment on this. And fans can be quite in your face about things. So I think he's like, you know what? Before people come out to me and say, what do I think? I might as well just say it.
Just say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a smart play.
Smart play. Apparently, Tom Hardy's Venom may appear in other Sony Spider-Verse movies.
I hear he's the Nick Fury of that universe.
What?
No, I'm messing with Del. I just wanted a reaction.
Just wanted a reaction. But then there's a whole other side of this conversation that says that Venom might not necessarily link all the Spider-Verse films together. So it's a mixed bag of reports and rumors.
You know what I really think it is? When the movie comes out, we'll all have our minds blown because they've been playing it close, and turns out it's part of a bigger universe. You never know.
Or they'll see if this is actually a popular movie, and then they'll make it into a Spider-Verse.
I think people are getting too caught up in the timeline and continuity and everything.
So you mean Sony might take a play from DC?
Oh yeah. Why not?
Speaking of universes, Sony apparently has named internally this Spider-Verse that they're sort of trying to build. The name that has been reported is that they're going to call it Sony's Universe of Marvel Characters, or SUMC for short.
I feel that they could have come up with a longer name.
Oh, Are you serious? A longer name?
Yeah, it should have been Sony's Universe of Marvel Characters in Spider-Man's Corner. SUMCSC.
So this would include everyone, like Morbius and
Yeah.
Silver and Black.
Oh, you wanted that movie about Wilson Fisk's janitor? Here it is.
Wilson Fisk's janitor.
What kind of broom would fit into his hands?
Yeah. You know, like, why did he become a janitor? Why not like a businessman? Boom, here it is, 2 films.
That's like a whole other movie.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, they're making Kraven the Hunter. I'm like, okay, sure.
All right, so you think that there
Hang
is... Whoa, sorry.
You don't want a Kraven the Hunter movie, or you don't think it's interesting?
Kraven the Hunter is a very interesting Spider-Man villain. I don't doubt it. I just don't know how it would work on a film.
Have you not seen Hercules with The Rock?
No. I think I mentioned last time, aside from Baywatch, I haven't seen much.
Okay.
I just want reactions.
Here's something that I don't know if we are gonna see. Apparently, the Batman movie, the solo film, is about to begin filming in spring of 2019. Now, that's next year, around March or April. Not that long to go, about half a year, with Ben Affleck producing.
Which means he's in the film.
Does it?
No one's confirming anything. No one's saying he is still Batman.
You know why I think so? I think it's because they don't have a script.
Still?
I don't think they have a concept. Like, okay, we've talked about Die Hard Year 1, whereby it'll be half present, half past. Matt Reeves has said Batman's grizzled, but he's also younger. So I'm guessing it's present and past.
You see like two perspectives, two
Timelines.
stories.
Yeah,
two
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. That kind of makes sense. Whether or not it'll be a good movie is still up for debate because there's been so much controversy that has been affecting the production of this movie. From the script that Ben Affleck initially wrote, and that's being thrown out. Matt Reeves is like, no, we're going to write a new movie. And then Ben Affleck himself playing the Cape Crusader, he's like, I don't think I want to do it anymore.
I don't know if I have faith. So, obviously, Warner Brothers has, quite a few messes. I do have faith in Matt Reeves. I really do. I really have faith in him. Because I feel like he's very underrated and I think he will do a great film. I think it's one of those movies where once it's done, it won't even matter who played Batman. Like, it'll be just that good.
Like, the story would be so good.
Yeah. And he's a great director. So, I think it's one of those things where at the end of it, we'll go, I don't even care who played Batman. Like, it was that good.
So it's like Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Yeah, I guess so. In a way, but then Christian Bale brought a lot to the role. Like, when you watch Star Trek, J.J. Abrams could have cast anybody as Captain Kirk. And that would still have been a great movie because just the concept was so brilliant. It just so happens that Chris Pine was perfect for that version of Kirk. So I feel like it will be one of those things.
I guess so. That kind of makes sense what you're trying to say.
So Ben Affleck is still on.
For now, I think so, yeah.
For now. But that might change next week.
Yeah.
The Joker origin movie. That is apparently targeting an R rating.
That sounds about right, yeah.
It should be. I mean, you're talking about the Joker. This is, of course, Joaquin Phoenix's take on the character. We also got some news about Zazie Beetz and how she's joining the cast of this Joaquin Phoenix-led Joker film. Zazie Beetz, of course, the actress that played Domino in Deadpool 2.
Well, so who could she be playing?
A report indicates that she has accepted the role and will appear in the film, apparently as Sophie Dumond, a woman who catches the interest of the Joker.
So like a love interest.
Yeah.
Oh, so she could be this version of a Harley Quinn.
No one's confirming it, but the fans might say, she could be the Harley Quinn, or it just might be another passing character.
Yeah. I can see it happening. If it's an art film, yeah, I can see it happening.
An art film.
I've always said, even in the comic books, the best DC stories are the ones that are not canon. Just because there's so much liberty you could take. I'm okay with it.
And there's so many ways that they can go.
Yeah.
Okay, here's something we hope will show us something new in the DC universe. Apparently, there's a Supergirl movie that is in development by Warner Brothers.
Fix Superman first, then do the cousin.
I don't know. DC, it just doesn't interest me. I don't want to speculate and I don't want to go into all these unconfirmed reports and what movie they're gonna do next, even if it is coming from the official source. But they're just so messy and nothing is fully concrete. So, I don't know. Wait till they start shooting and then we can talk, I guess.
Yeah, because it's DC and Warner Brothers just reacting to, how people receive their movies.
How is it that you can't give us a Superman 2 or Man of Steel 2 and then you can give us all these other stuff? I don't get it. I think
just because they're quote unquote greenlighting it, we won't see it for another 3 to 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's still in development.
Like, they actually hired Chris McKay to do Nightwing, but it's nowhere in sight. So, yeah.
Although there was some, rumors about who they could potentially cast as Nightwing.
Yeah, and that's about it, right? Like, so at this point, like, they could make a movie about the Joker's janitor, and I would just...
So this is like all talk, no substance.
I think it's one of those, it's like a handshake thing, like, all right, I like your pitch. You could do it, fine, cool.
Yeah, call me.
Yeah, like we saw how easily Joss Whedon was removed from Batgirl, or he removed himself. And that's Joss Whedon.
Yeah, but then there's still that theory that they dangle that in front of him
to get him to do Justice League.
Yeah, to fix.
Or it was
League.
just a front. Yeah. Just to do Justice League.
Yeah, so with anybody outside of Marvel, I'd be super skeptical about what's being made.
Yeah,
true.
Even the Sony's black,
the
silver and black,
SUMCSC, yeah.
that has been reportedly split into two movies now.
Yeah, one's called Silver, one's called Black.
Okay. Anyway, here's a movie that I don't know anyone was asking for or whether they were not. Vin Diesel has announced that the Bloodshot movie has started production. I'm not familiar with Bloodshot.
Bloodshot is a Valiant Comics character. He was really popular in the 90s, but then again, so was everything.
Okay.
I've not read the current incarnation. Good for him.
So he's playing Bloodshot?
He's playing Bloodshot. He looks like Bloodshot, yeah.
Michael Sheen apparently was supposed to be in this movie as well, but he's been replaced by Guy Pearce.
That sounds like a Hollywood thing, yeah.
That was a response.
Yeah. No, it really does, right? Like, here, we really wanted this guy, but we'll go for this guy.
Yeah. And there's always conflict of
schedules.
Yeah, schedule.
I think it's because Michael Sheen is in that new movie with Nick Frost and Simon Pegg.
Slaughterhouse Rules.
Yeah.
That's done.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. As a comic book fan, when I heard Valiant was bought over by someone, I immediately thought, wow. I'm so envious of those dudes who just put together some ideas and printed a comic book. Because after Marvel made it big, everyone's just like, yeah, let's pick up any comic book we find.
Yeah, this is the whole 90s thing. Like, this started happening in 96, 97. Somewhere there. I mean, there was even a movie that came out which sort of parodied this whole situation, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah.
And how they got bought over. If you don't know what this is, look it up. It's one of the, to me, greatest movies of the 21st century because of all the self-deprecating humor.
Yeah. I think Kevin Smith's movies are a hallmark in medium of independent films. They're up there.
All right. Kai mentioned Chris Pine a little bit earlier on in the show.
This is the saddest news ever, isn't it?
There is a report that Star Trek 4 has lost Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth.
This broke my heart.
Over pay disputes.
This broke my heart so bad.
How much are these guys getting paid?
Not enough apparently.
Take a pay cut. What's it to them?
Apparently, and you know what broke my heart? Go ahead, Kev. Finish the report because I know what it's about.
Apparently, it's been reported that talks ultimately broke down due to money, as Pine and Hemsworth wanted the studio to stick to their existing deals for the project. So apparently, I think it's Paramount that's trying to change the terms.
Because Star Trek 4 didn't make enough money.
It really didn't. And it's such a shame. I truly, truly love Chris Pine as Captain Kirk.
Yep.
I truly love the guy. And you know what broke my heart is that the report said the other cast members have finalized. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
for the love of the art.
Or, for the fact that you would have 4 Star Trek movies under your belt, which is... He could be very well beating Shatner's film record.
Right.
Because Shatner did until 6.
And he wasn't as popular before Star Trek.
That is true, yeah. That was
kind of
like his
Star
big break,
Trek really, boom, kicked him up a few notches.
And also Chris Hemsworth.
That is literally the film that got Chris Hemsworth Thor.
That is the film that got Chris Hemsworth Thor.
I think what got Chris Hemsworth Thor was Chris Hemsworth going into the audition. Not because of this movie.
Well, they noticed him.
5 minutes worth of
what I'm
nothing.
saying, Dale, is that if you walk to a casting director's office with a resume that says you played George Kirk on Star Trek,
which you could barely see anything,
as opposed to your younger brother who had actually done a young adult franchise at that point, I think. I'm just saying, to have Star
I don't know,
Trek...
man.
Okay.
I think it's his talent. Chris Hemsworth, that beautiful man, as you would always like to say about Tom Cruise.
Actually, both these Chris's are very beautiful.
Yes. So he is not only beautiful, he is super talented.
I'm not going to argue with you on that. I think I agree, yeah.
So take the pay cut.
Take the pay cut.
I really want
cuts.
Chris Pine back. I really do.
Yeah. We'll see what Paramount does with this. Today's news is, they're all bleak. It seems like Hollywood is on a bit of a downturn. Last week, we talked about how Priyanka Chopra was confirmed to be in the upcoming Cowboy Ninja Viking movie.
Oh, that
It's
one.
been reported that is now delayed indefinitely.
Yeah. Sounds like a very Hollywood thing to do.
Which is the theme of the day.
The report also say that it is not indefinitely, just that they are reworking out the schedule again.
Okay.
So maybe it could pop up again in a week's time.
Which is very Hollywood.
Which is
Very Hollywood. Here's something that is definitely very Hollywood. We talked about how Hasbro bought over Power Rangers and a whole bunch of other properties from Saban a couple of months ago. Now Hasbro is planning a Power Rangers movie sequel.
I heard, yeah.
Yep,
Sequel or reboot?
Sequel.
They say because so it's an investment already made.
Sequel to the last year 2017 movie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is very good news. Where's TV?
Oh, he's not here. We asked him to be here
Just for this news.
just for this news. I guess he didn't want to know about this. Anyway, moving on to the next bit of news. Here's something that maybe Del might have something to say. Idris Elba reportedly is a top contender to play James Bond after Daniel Craig.
Wasn't he before?
No,
Where
because the
did this-
producer said they cannot imagine a non-white person playing James Bond
Okay.
in 2017.
But
now-
it is 2018.
Now,
so-
2018, it's
They
been reported
Yeah.
that he's a top contender. There is a photo of him here in a suit, and
When is Idris Elba not in a suit?
when he is
When he
playing
goes to
Heimdall.
bed, yeah.
When he's Heimdall.
When is I'm okay.
I agree with this
Touche.
casting choice. If he is announced as James Bond or the next James Bond, I would support this. I'm like, yeah, I could see it.
I just wanted to say that I don't know why you threw it to me first because I'm not a fan of James Bond.
Which is
I couldn't care less.
Which is exactly what I threw it to
Right.
you.
You said I could have something to say.
I grew up watching the Bond films. I do really respect them.
They're not Mission Impossible.
No, they're not. Nothing will ever be. I totally am on board with Idris Elba being James Bond, but for the sake of a bet I have running, I really hope it's Henry Cavill. Simply because I literally have money on the guy.
Riding on Henry Cavill being
Yeah, because
James Bond.
he's the traditional Bond guy.
Yep.
The height, the accent, the looks, yeah, that's James Bond. But yeah, again, I have nothing against Idris Elba.
Okay. Disney, of course, we've talked about this, has bought over Fox, and they're just getting the ink dry on that contract. They've signed
It's
pretty
a
much
very wet ink.
it's very wet ink at the moment. It's going to take about a year for everything to be sorted out. Fox is apparently developing a Bob's Burgers movie
Nice.
and
That's so
a
good.
Simpsons movie sequel
Oh, so good.
and a Family Guy movie.
No.
Why no to Family
Two
Guy?
yeses and a no, because Family Guy should have stopped. They should have stopped it. I just nah.
The Simpsons movie didn't do very well, did it?
No, but I really enjoyed it.
Del?
I don't follow Simpsons enough to care. I don't know what Bob's Burger is, and Family Guy has never interested me.
Wow. I think your age is really showing.
Uh-huh.
Wow, very interesting.
So this last bit of news is not going to hit Del. It's not going to give Del any feelings whatsoever.
Sure, I'm gonna believe you
Yeah.
after I hear it.
A couple of months ago, we talked about this bit of news where apparently Michael Bay is attached to a certain project.
Right. Okay.
And-
I know where this is going.
I don't know how to bring this up. It's Dora the Explorer. There's going to be a live action movie.
And there's a picture
We
up.
have our first look
At Dora
At
the
Dora.
Explorer.
I saw that picture.
Yeah. This girl, who's playing Dora was also in Sicario and Transformers The Last Night.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was the girl that did the whole like Nike ad thing for Transformers. I'm a girl.
Yeah.
And this and that.
I'll
this
stay
and
and
that.
I'll fight them, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. And then she was also in Sicario. She was the daughter of the cartel boss.
As
Yeah.
well as the worst part of the movie. Otherwise, a very good movie.
So yeah, she's in this photo looking very
Dora the Explorer I really like.
Yeah.
I will see what the trailer looks like.
I
You know
will
what?
not.
You know what makes me sad is that this is $100 million that could have gone to developing 15 really good indie movies.
That is true.
It is a very Hollywood thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so that's the news this week on the Wayang Crew Podcast. If you want to get in touch with us here on the show, check out our contact links down below, which brings us to our next bit of the show, which is a review of The Meg.
Megalodon
Megalodon.
would have been
It's a megalodon.
It's a megalodon.
would have been a better title.
All right. The Meg is showing in Brunei theaters. It has been showing as of last week. And essentially, it's a big shark movie starring Jason Statham and what's the Chinese actress name? Ling Bai Bai or something like that.
We are. Oh wow, this is a pure nightmare. For the record, Kevin is Chinese, so is Del. This is a pure nightmare. The actress' name is Li Bingbing.
Li Bingbing. It's really late, guys.
Again, for the record, both of them are Chinese.
Okay. Li Bingbing, and also starring a host of other actors.
Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose is in there as a tech expert slash designer. Sure. So they are in a research facility which is owned by a billionaire.
Played by Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson, who I think is actually like the most down-to-earth character in this movie.
I felt he was literally the next step of Dwight Schrute, the character he made popular on The Office.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Except now he has money.
Yeah, so he sold the beat farm and now he's investing in...
So he owns this research facility and he's pumping in like billions and billions of dollars for them to come up with a real breakthrough. And that breakthrough in this movie is that what was once believed to be the deepest place on Earth, which is the Marianas Trench, is actually deeper than they thought, because it's apparently the bottom is
not the floor.
It's not the floor, but the bottom of it is like a cloud
of
some sulfur thing.
Yeah, so it's basically dense gases and stuff.
And it separates the ocean, which is cold,
from the trench,
from the actual trench, which is hot. I don't know what it's. It was not explained very well.
Basically, it's revisionist history when it comes to marine science for the sake of a shark film.
I'm amazed at you two trying to explain the science of this movie, which doesn't make sense at all.
No, you know what that means, Delta? We gave it a fair fighting chance.
Yeah, we tried.
But apparently the shark didn't get a fighting chance.
So they go down there in a sub. They encounter...
Kevin's shaking his head trying to explain the plot.
Yes, I'm shaking my head because I'm trying to find...
Okay, I can recount it. Okay. Jason Statham, i.e. the greatest man in the world, in this particular world, has a failed mission...
It's not wrong.
Has a failed mission in the beginning where he has to let a few of his people die because the submarine gets attacked. So obviously it's not an octopus attacking it. Guess what? It's the same character is the same shark he'll be seeing later on, because this is directors and writers of this film was so in love with the concept of Moby Dick and Ahab. So while this is happening, conveniently a woman who is his ex-wife, works for Li Bingbing's company, is going down past
not Ling Bai Bai.
Again, Kevin is Chinese, so he can say this. So this expedition with also that has Masioka, the guy who played Hero in Heroes, pierced the supposed floor of the Marianas Trench. And as they see this, they go, there's a line that says, we don't know what creatures could be under there, and boom, they get attacked. I'm like, very convenient line.
On cue. Yeah.
On cue. And they're like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know, a creature? So they get attacked, we don't know what it is, and then suddenly we move to Thailand, where Jason Statham is playing, every white guy that's ever visited Thailand. And he's basically drinking all day. Two people from the expedition come to him and they go like, we need your help. And he's like, no, I'm not going to help you. And then they're like, no, we need your help.
You're not going to get me near water.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, he agrees because they say it's the thing that could have affected his trip a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And he goes there and he gets off the helicopter and in a t-shirt goes into the submarine. He starts going down the floor.
Oh, wait, no. He talks to a kid first.
Oh, yeah. So he makes friends with the kid, who I think is...
one of the glimmering parts of this movie.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean,
It's not a stretch.
No, it's not. You're right, I guess. If there's no food left, water would work. So he goes down underwater and he changes into his scuba outfit. Some outfit that...
Why does this matter?
Because I felt like you should have changed before you get in the submarine, Del. I'm sorry if I believe in having a uniform. And then the thing goes down.
You won't get wet in a submarine.
Yeah. You would if a megalodon took a bite out of it.
That's why you changed into submarine. It's okay.
So as they're going down, the reason why he's going down is because Li Bingbing was like trying to save everyone, but she couldn't, and she's getting attacked.
I think you got the facts wrong.
No, I did not.
Yes, wait. Because the reason he went back into the water when he disliked it so much because it's very wet is because his ex-wife
Yeah,
went
I
down
said
and
that
he's
in the
trapped.
beginning.
And now he's going back down.
To win
it is
her
still
over.
for the ex-wife.
Yeah.
And Li Bingbing just happened to be in the way
Yeah,
that they can fall in love.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
What he said. And then, as they're going down, this brings me to the worst part of the film.
That kid we mentioned is Li Bingbing's kid.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she totally wants the mom and Jason Statham to get it on.
Yes.
So they're going. He's going down, right?
35-year-old.
And then she was 8. They're going down, and then they get attacked, and Jason Statham is like almost immediately goes, "It's a megalodon."
which is that line that we've all seen in
Yeah.
the trailer.
Because why wouldn't a guy who plays every white guy in Thailand who's always getting drunk know exactly what's underneath the Mariana Trench? Right? Why wouldn't he know that? And then when it's there, it gets super personal. He's like, no, I gotta kill the shark. And then like, at one point, he literally, ladies and gentlemen, this is a prehistoric killer shark. He outswims it.
Yes.
And that is all you need to know about this movie.
Apparently there are 2 megalodons.
Yeah. So every time somebody asks me how was the Meg, I go, which one? There was 2.
There was 2. There was a smaller one and a much bigger one.
Yeah. By the way, the biggest one is 25 meters. So go figure.
75 feet apparently.
Yeah, it's 1/4 of a racetrack.
It's long. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think you did a very good job
Thank you.
Yeah.
summarizing the whole movie.
Not the end. And that's not the whole movie because they later on went into one part of Taiwan, the
Yeah.
beach of Taiwan,
Yeah.
where 500 people.
No, it was like 3,000, 4,000 people.
3,000 people congregated at one spot on the beach. And the rest is all free. There's like plenty of water around them, but everyone wants that place, that same spot.
Do you know why, Dale?
Why?
Because the script said so.
Exactly.
Or that place, the feng shui very good. So
It is ridiculous.
Let's get into this film.
no, even more ridiculous that scene that you're talking about, Del, where you had like 4,000 people on this one beach, and the megalodon,
Megalodon.
the megalodon swims slowly underneath, sort of
Yeah.
checking everyone out.
Yeah.
If I was that shark,
You just makan everything.
That's a buffet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start now.
And every time he wants to, well, I say he, but it could be a she, that it wants to eat people and then it got distracted, it'll just swim away without taking a bite.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though it's just right in front of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
What got me the most was the acting capability of Li Bingbing.
I wouldn't call it acting. I'd say line delivery
or
ability.
lack thereof. Even the line delivery, when she was about to die, she was reading the script as if she was reading the script with no emotion attached to her acting. And every time, no, not every time, from the very first time that we see her encounter a topless Jason Statham.
Yes, that one scene.
There was no reason for him to be topless, but it is a very Hollywood thing to do.
The movie called for it. He had to come out of the shower to open the door, and he did it in a towel. And the whole time he was on screen, you could tell he was flexing.
Yeah. Yes.
Because nobody looks like that.
Sucking his gut in. He was flexing his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
In his defense,
no, there's no defense for
if
this.
I had a body like that,
I don't know, man.
I'm just saying.
Every time they talk, every time these two talk, I cringe. And when the little girl wanted him and Li Bingbing to get together, he had this line. This is the worst moment of my life, he said. And he also expressed the same sentiment that I felt.
For this movie.
This movie made me not want to go back to the cinema. I cannot believe I paid my hard-earned money to go to the cinema and watch this junk.
Okay. But it wasn't that bad.
It was actually
It
pretty
was
bad. I'm
that
not
bad.
That's
It was.
It was bad. It was actually bad.
I feel
There is no tension. There is no suspense. There is no real feel of danger or someone could die because nobody like suffers really badly.
I feel like the producers of this movie and the studio should do a public apology to the species of sharks.
Like one of those Japanese ones where they bow.
Yeah, they're like, sharks, we're very sorry. We misrepresented your grandfathers.
Yeah. And the script's so bad that Li Bingbing's character keep wanting something to happen with Jason Statham, even though people around her keep dying.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't care about them, I just want you.
What I want to know is Li Bingbing's character. I don't even remember her character's name.
Doesn't matter.
I want to know what makeup she's using, because even if she gets like wet, she dives in the water and she comes back out and the makeup is still perfect. She still has eyeliner.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this movie.
She must be given the worst actress of the year.
Here's something interesting. The Meg had a budget of $150 million.
Kevin, why do you lie?
I'm not lying.
Why do you make these things up?
I don't make these things up. It had a budget of $150 million, and I have to ask, where did it go to?
The makeup, I think. No, seriously, you're kidding, right? That movie cost 150?
Look it up. Like, go on Google.
Deadpool cost 50.
No, they built the whole structure for the underwater station.
No.
They built that whole thing out
And now they're renting it out for a tourist resort.
to watch sharks.
I am so gobsmacked right now.
$150 million. That is
Wow.
that is the reported production budget for.
I
the
would
Meg.
have been able to make a significantly better movie for like 1% of that.
But
And I would use an actual shark.
But you're not in Hollywood. It's not a very Hollywood thing to do.
I guess it's the time to break the news now. I'm just I love this episode. There's a phone in front of me. Oh, it's 150 million USD. Kevin's pulled up the number.
You see, this movie, I feel, is like it's being made for the Chinese audience.
Yes.
No.
So,
You know why? Because the moment they see the shark, they'll say, well, look, think of how much soup we can make.
I'm curious as to how much money it'll make in China.
I don't know.
If it does make back the profit, okay.
We will know tomorrow morning, won't we? When the final numbers are in, because it just opened.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Did it open in China?
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
That's why they had Chinese actresses and,
Yeah, yeah.
half of the
Yeah,
cast.
But
Because
usually it's a different date.
No, but then if it's produced in China, shot in China, it's a Chinese film considered.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's open there.
All right, we got some news here. Just in, like, over the weekend, like the box office, the Meg has apparently had a $44.5 million debut.
Okay.
Over 3 days.
Yeah, over the weekend. It was released on the 8th officially, the 8th of August, which means it's been out for about 4 days and $44.5 million. This is from the Hollywood Reporter.
That would be legit.
150 million budget and your opening weekend is 44. That has got to be a fail, right?
It could depend on what the rating is. Is it R-rated?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Have you not seen the movie?
I
Which
have.
part is R-rated?
The creation of the film itself. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this movie.
$150 million. Just as a fun fact, you remember that movie, The Shallows, with Blake Lively?
I've not seen it, but I heard great things.
Okay.
A much better movie than this one.
Much better movie. Apparently, the worldwide gross for that movie was $119 million globally.
And a budget of?
$25 million.
Now that seems reasonable.
Oh no. Alright, so The Meg.
Nah.
No.
I'd give it a 0 fang out of 10.
0 fangs, 0 shark
Nah.
teeth.
Wow.
Out of 10. Del.
Nothing redeeming.
2 out of 10 fins.
What are the two that's worth watching?
Because I have seen what one is.
What is one?
Ling bye bye.
Jangan pandang belakang.
Oh, really?
That is a one.
I'm gonna give this movie because regardless of how bad the
Oh no,
movie-
there was a good scene. You know, I'm gonna step back. There was a good scene where there was like a lot of stabbing going on. At towards the end, like he stabbed the shark bit his thing.
Yeah.
There was like a bunch of stabs going on.
When you say the shark bit, it's thing.
We meant like a leg.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, that was pretty cool. I like seeing blood on screen. All right, I'll give it a 1.
Okay, I will, give it a 3, like 2 plus 1. I'll give it 3 just for the weird byproduct that I actually sort of laughed at a couple of the scenes, at how absurd it was. It is sort of kind of a fun time if you want to do a matinee show. Pay $4 for this. Don't go on the weekend. It's an hour and 40 minutes.
No, it's actually almost 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours. Yeah. You don't see very much of the shark, and a lot of the things that happen in this movie.
Neither of the sharks.
Because there are two.
Yeah, how was the Meg? Which one?
Which one? But yeah, it's still showing in local cinemas, so do catch it if you want to. Which brings us to the end of the show. We've done the show, we've given a review of the Meg. One thing that we do have to do is we have to announce the winner of a quiz that we had a couple of weeks ago, where our listeners stood a chance to win some prizes, which are Ant-Man and the Wasp themed, contributed by our friends over at Time Cineplex. So that winner of the quiz is Braden K. Moore. Okay, he listed his answer as fortune, which is his superpower, being the odds would always be in his favor in any situation. So yeah, Braden K. Moore, if you are in fact him, please do send us a direct message on Instagram. Give us your details. Anywhere in the world, we'll send this stuff out to you. You are going to win yourself one Ant-Man and the Wasp t-shirt, one Ant-Man and the Wasp keychain, and one Ant-Man and the Wasp pen drive. So there you go.
Wow. Congratulations, Braden.
Braden, congratulations. Do get in touch with us here on the Wayang Crew. And now it's the real end of the show. It's really late. It's coming up on 12 midnight.
Oh, should we not announce the next competition?
What is the next competition?
Tell us 2 reasons why you didn't like the Meg, and we'll throw a rubber shark your way.
No, I'm not going to buy a rubber shark. No way.
No, I'm kidding.
All right.
I don't care about sharks right now.
Okay, so thank you to Del and Kai for coming on the show, even though it's so late as of time of recording. This is Kevin signing off for the Wayang Crew. We'll see you next week. Bye.